All right, hey guys, what's going on? This is Shaan. In this video, I want to talk about the stuff that I tried to use to overcome anxiety and panic attacks, and that didn't work. I know a lot of people are trying to find answers on, what was it that helped you overcome and what didn't. And so I just kind of want to make a brief, short list. I'll probably make a part two of this video, maybe sometime in the future. But I'll really tell you guys what I was hoping would work, didn't end up working, and what actually did work when I fully overcame anxiety and panic attacks. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Shaan, and I struggled with anxiety and panic attacks years ago, and I managed to fully overcome it. No lingering anxiety. I feel good. I live free, and now I help others do the same. So stick around. So I tried multiple things, and I want to focus on different things from different domains. The first thing I wanted to talk about was supplements. When I was first dealing with anxiety, one of the things that was noticed was that I had a low vitamin D count, and so doctors were like, "Hey, you gotta get your vitamin D up. That's probably why you're feeling the way you do." Well, it wasn't. I ended up taking a I ended up taking vitamin D, hoping that would be it to make me feel better. Wasn't. I did feel a little bit better, I think, but it wasn't like I was still struggling with anxiety and panic attacks. Furthermore, not just vitamins, I took other supplements too. I would take ashwagandha. I took anything that said that would heal anxiety and overcome anxiety and that no longer would have anxiety. Well, I was taking these pills, trying to do whatever I could. And typically the process would be is that I would probably feel okay after taking it for maybe like a day, but then my anxiety would come back. And normally that was because I would have morning anxiety. So when I would wake up in the morning, I'd feel like total crap. And I'd be like, what? Like, I just took that. Why isn't this thing gone? So ashwagandha, vitamin D, vitamin supplements, herbal remedies, uh, none of those kind of pills, none of those supplements really helped me. Which leads me to the second point: medication. So I was put on medication just because I got so desperate. The medication that helped a little bit temporarily was a benzodiazepine. For me, that was Klonopin. It was Klonopin seemed to reduce the anxiety, but only temporarily, and it wouldn't work all the time. So sometimes if I had anxiety, I took it. I didn't feel any different. Sometimes I would take it; it would do the trick. I was very concerned about getting dependent on Klonopin, so I was very limited on that. But I also didn't want to. I knew that wasn't the answer because I knew long term that's just unsustainable. I couldn't rely on a pill. If I was relying on a pill, that's just not the way I wanted to go about it. So I needed a long term solution. Klonopin was at best maybe just taking off a little bit of the edge in a high anxiety situation. Um, Antidepressants, SSRIs didn't do jack for me. I mean, if anything, I probably felt worse. I probably dumbed the anxiety, but it dumbed all other emotions for me. And they also just had some really bad side effects that I didn't really like. So meds didn't really work for me. Exercise. So without a doubt, look, exercise is a huge part for mental clarity. The research when it comes to dealing with depression or even anxiety is without a doubt, it helps. And the reason why it helps, especially when it comes to anxiety, is that it helps burn off that excess adrenaline that you develop from the fight or flight response. Remember, it's that excess adrenaline that's in your body that's making your heart palpitate, that's making you feel dizzy, that's making you feel nauseous. So exercise is great for burning that off. And oftentimes, you'll work out and you'll feel better because of it. The problem becomes when you work out and you don't feel better, because that's what I was noticing. Because there would be times where I would work out and I would feel great, and then there'd be times I would work out and I wouldn't feel great. So the thing is that using anxiety as a solution by itself isn't really the way to focus on it. The focus should be on eliminating anxiety head on, and you do this by acceptance, by fully feeling the anxiety, going through it. And not needing to think out every single symptom. If you're trying to figure out every single symptom that you have and trying to convince yourself you have cancer or something like that, it's just not going to work. You're not going to be able to fully overcome because you're constantly keeping this cycle going. It doesn't matter how many hours you're on the treadmill. It doesn't matter how many weights you lift. if that keeps going on your head, it's just working out. It's going to be futile. So exercise didn't help me. Now I will say, once I was on the road to recovery, and I stopped doing these the what if situations, and just accepted it and just moved forward with my symptoms, not trying to stop it. Then when I used exercise, it made a huge difference. And when I'm talking about exercise, I'm talking about yoga, weightlifting, cardio, all that stuff. Which leads me to the next thing that I tried, and that was meditation. Look, I meditate every day. I Meditation by far is one of the most profound things out there. The problem is that meditation just by itself isn't going to help you overcome anxiety. The focus should be, on understanding the mechanics, really learning why you're feeling this way, accepting it, and then when you meditate, life difference. I mean, it's really going to help you. Uh, Meditation, without a doubt, is probably one of the most powerful things, and probably one of the most least used things that we do as a society. But meditation, without a doubt, it's great. But when I was trying to focus on overcoming anxiety, doing meditation by itself just wasn't doing the trick. I really had to understand what was happening. I had to get some clarity about why my body was feeling this way first, why my mind was going through this way, so that I wouldn't have to keep battering my mind on trying to figure the things out. Then, when I did that, I accepted it. When I used meditation, when I would initially meditate, the first few minutes would be, I'd feel like I'd have even heightened anxiety. I'd feel like my anxiety would get worse. And that was just because all like the excess adrenaline was just pouring out. And so initially it's very common for you to feel worse in the beginning. But if you could just stick with it for a little while, when it burns itself off, I mean, you feel great. Next one, self-help books. Self-help books is great. And I read a lot when I was dealing with anxiety, which is great because it made me a great individual, and it made me think about a lot of things that I wasn't thinking about, in my early 20s. However, as awesome as self-help books are, they are not the way out of anxiety. They're great for mindset. They're great just to live life, but they're not specific enough to really explain why you're feeling the way you do. And besides that, it's just mindset. It doesn't really focus on accountability. It doesn't focus on how to execute when it comes to overcoming anxiety. What steps do you need to do? What happens when you fall? What kind of mindsets you need to have? It kind of teaches you that, but it's a little bit more general in life. And I read a ton of them. I read a lot of books, and some of my favorite books that I've ever read came during that period, just because I was struggling with anxiety, and I just kind of looked for some hope, and I was looking for ways to feel better. So I would read these self-help books, and as great as they are, they weren't really the steps that I needed to overcome anxiety. Now, the best way to overcome anxiety, and the fastest way and the easiest way, is just to have somebody guide you through it. Somebody who's been there, that knows all the roadblocks, that knows where the trip ups are, and just takes you step by step, and just shows you one step, then shows you another when you're ready, and it just keeps moving you forward. That also puts some accountability on you, but it also stops you from kind of doing the same habits you've been doing for a long time. So if you guys want to know, how to fully overcome, I have a private Facebook group down below. When you hit that link, it's going to ask you to join. When you hit join, it's going to ask you 3 questions. And when you guys answer that questions, you guys get in the group. When you guys get in the group, actually, I'm putting out exclusive content that I'm not putting on any other social media platform. I'm a little bit more engaged with the group in terms of trying to show you step by step on how to fully overcome. So if you're serious about it, hit that link below, and I'll see you guys inside. Thanks.